important break-off. Needs to get it right. We've seen a couple of loose ones today from Selby.
Well, two reds sticking out, one to the right corner, one to the left, and neither one of them are easy.
Chris Wakelin has made 7 breaks of over 50 today, to 4 from Mark Selby.
Well, he caught the red just a little thin, and the cue ball not close enough to the cushion. Thinking of playing the double, I think. Well, a double of his own here, Selby. Well, the red would go to the middle, which was even better. Just caught the red a little thick, and that's why he's cannon into the yellow. There are reds on to both corners, but very risky. Oh, how close was that? But he's left the red on to the middle. He was perfect on the black. He knew the cue ball was going into the brown. He was hoping for a kind of kiss.
Selby has won in excess of 60% of his final frame battles down the years. 61.4 to be precise. That's very good.
Selby 1.
By way of comparison, Stephen Hendry won just a shade over 60%, so Selby's winning percentage in final frame deciders better than the great Stephen Hendry.
What a shot from Chris Wakelin. Kind of forced into it because of the great safety shot that Selby played. What a great shot. Needs another. Overcut it. Is he going to get away with it? I don't think so.
Wakelin 1.
So that great shot could have cost him the match. Now, if you can leave the cue ball on the cushion, you can have an angle on the black to disturb the reds, but I think he's playing the screw back. Similar scenario coming from this side. He could leave himself a nice angle on the black to go into them. Just checking there's no plants. How's your luck? And it looks good. Didn't hold back. The red could have gone in.
14.
Well, maybe it's not as good as we first thought. He's got an easy red to the left corner, but he can't screw for the black into the same pocket. If he plays the run through, the red near the black cushion comes into play. He could play the cannon to the black if he's got the angle to do so. And there you can see it's not straight on this red, which would have been straightforward. Can he get the cannon to the black? This could have been so much easier. Well, caught the red a little thick, but may be able to pot the pink. If he takes the pink onto the baulk corner, he'd have to get it. Well, what a chance. Chris Wakelin.
Marcel, 15.
Black's tied up, pink's down the other end of the table.
One.
Nothing Selby can do now except hope for an error.
Doesn't want to kiss the green. And that was a poor positional shot. Got too much left-hand side on the cue ball. Too much screw, too much side.
5.
And now he needs a really good shot to get back in to a scoring position.
Yes, and any attempted pot carries with it some risk now.
Where's it going to finish? I think this red is potable to the right corner. Well, very tough pot, but a chance. If you can see enough of it. Good pot, but the cue ball's close.
1.
Well, we'll never know whether it went in or not. Apparently it didn't.
Well, the cameraman knows. was about to take the more difficult green, and that was all or nothing. And so is the yellow. He plays the pot. He's not playing the pot.
Selby, 1.
Well, can Chris Wakelin play the snooker here? Well, if he plays cushion first here, hits the red fairly thick, he might finish up behind the yellow. Yeah, that's a good shot. Should just be able to land up to the red though, without leaving anything on. So a chance now to try and get that cue ball in behind the pink. And just a touch too hard. Now, can he get to the potting angle of one of these reds without making contact with that red nearest the left corner? If it goes in, it could be on the pink. Caught it too thin, much too thin, and he needs a bit of luck. Oh, and that was another good chance. Now, as Chris had a little bit of luck. He may have left the red down the cushion with the rest. He'll be trying to leave the cue ball as close to that middle pocket as he can, and as close to the cushion as what he can. Otherwise he could leave a red on. Great shot.
1.
And the way he played it, he could only leave the red he was playing on.
Six.
Needs to keep running.
7.
Well, it stayed the right side by a good distance, so should be able to play in and out of baulk. Choice of reds.
It's been a typically nervy, edgy final frame to this point, but now Mark Selby with a clear-cut chance to book his place in the next round.
Again, he couldn't get the right side of the blue. The cue ball was going close to the pocket. So it doesn't need to come right back down the table. With the red being close to that left corner.
$18.
13 the game. And again he's short. And again, it shouldn't be a problem. Pot the blue coming out of baulk. The yellow and green not on the spot, so that makes it easier. He's hit it too hard. Played for the red to the left corner. And he's hit it too hard. It's end of break. So maybe try and get that cue ball in behind the pink. Try and leave the red closer to the cushion. Shorter speed, that's all that was.
$35 the difference, 59 left.
Got too close to the pocket, and that's a disaster for Chris Wakelin. Needed to catch the red a lot thinner, so it didn't go so far over the table. Caught it a little bit too thick, and just catching the angles there has cost him.
1.
And this time he is the right side of the blue. So he needs this blue, one more red and a colour. Although with the one more red, Chris could only tie. Well, miscounted. He needs a colour. 42 in it. Yeah, it's not over yet. The blue leaves Chris Wakelin needing snookers.
Winner of this, remember, plays either Dominic Dale or Alan McManus, and they're locked together at 3-all. Robbie Williams, I can tell you, has edged out Wan Sijung 5-4. So this to put Selby over the winning line, barring snookers.
Yes, but he knows that the green and brown are in a good spot. So is the pink.
Go.
So he's got to be very careful.
Myself.
One snooker to tie as things stand for Chris Wakelin. But that surely had to go. Well, could have been worse.
Yeah. I thought he was going to leave the red on over the baulk corner, but it's just travelled on. But could be in trouble next shot. Could get the cannon to the brown. Oh, we got the double kiss. And that's worked out well. Not quite a snooker, but still a good safety. And caught it too thick. And that looks like it's the end of this match. He's fought well, Chris Wakelin. Had a chance in this decider, but missed the black off the spot.
Yes, it's been a real struggle in the end for Mark Selby. That looked unlikely when he led 3-0. Chris Wakelin has played some very good stuff in this match. It's just one or two moments that have been very costly for him. The pre-mid-session interval snooker in particular, when he fell 3-1 behind, could easily have been 3-1 in front. But he kept battling, forced the decider. He has had chances in the decider, but it's now looking pretty forlorn. 53 behind, 43 on, 3 snookers required. Only 35 on, of course, just the one red left, so a seemingly hopeless task, really. That's 5 snookers. Well, it has been done before. Our colleague Mike Hallett did it once to John Parrott in the semi-finals of the Masters. Pretty rare, though.
And especially against somebody like Selby. But always a chance of a free ball while the red's on the table. And that's a good shot. Don't think the yellow's in the way. But he's got to be careful here because he could leave a free ball if he misses the red. And he was well aware of that.
5.
So that's one. Should be able to leave another one this time round.
Dominic Dale has just moved 4-3 up on Alan McManus. Was 2-0 down at one stage.
Not quite hard enough. Oh, too hard.
If Selby can sink this red, it will definitely be game over.
Well, this is close. This has to be a snooker where the red is. Now, can he swerve it? Doesn't matter if he follows it in. Well, that's another one.
Fish Wakelin.
3 now required. Yeah, he's thinking of potting the red and the black and the yellow and leaving a tight snooker in behind the brown. But the green and brown are in a really good position there. I'd be tempted to keep them there.
1.
It does get him one snooker, but it makes things a little bit more difficult. Now, if he's playing the cue ball in behind the pink, he's got to be careful of the double kiss.
Eight.
Well, just a little pacey. And the yellow
Fish Wakelin.
is potable.
8.
Well, it was potable and got so very close to it. Now forced into potting this yellow. Oh, and that swing of the leg just did it.
3 snookers still required. But he did need 5 at one stage. Selby being made to sweat here. It's normally Selby laying the snookers at the end of a frame, and he's very adept at it. This would be a monumental comeback from Wakelin if he can turn this around.
Brown's close.
Well, would you believe it? Chris Wakelin held his hand up to apologise for getting lucky with a double kiss. He didn't get lucky, though, with the brown disappearing. What a match that turned out to be, a really titanic battle. And Mark Selby will be mighty relieved to have got over the line in the end, having been cruising at 3-0 up, taken to the final frame, and taken pretty close to the wire in the final frame. But in the end, Chris Wakelin had too much to do with those 5 snookers. Got 2 of them, but couldn't get the other 3. And Selby gratefully through to the last 32. And a meeting with either Dominic Dale or Alan